So I initially made a video about this when it first started developing about a couple weeks ago. And this whole story was brought to light by a couple of YouTubers, Carl Jobst and some ordinary gamers, also known as, I think it's Moody. I'm pretty sure it is. I probably butchered his name because I'm fucking terrible when it comes to pronouncing names, let's just be honest. And I initially covered it on my video, and if you want a little bit more context for that, either go watch his original video, or if you want like a little bit more of a summarized version and a bit more of my opinion on it, I recommend going and watching my video as well for it. Just because, like, I think before watching this, you kind of want a little bit more context, because I'm not really going to talk too much about what's already like happened in the past. I'm going to talk about what has further developed with Carl Jobst and Moody looking into it even further than they already have. And I'm going to link Moody's video down below, or some ordinary gamers in the comment section, because that's a video that I watched to get all the information. So I watched his video, and I'm just getting most of the information from his video. I haven't really watched Carl Jobst's one, but also if you want to go check out his video as well, you can definitely go do that. It's just Carl Jobst. I think it's like Carl, Karl, and then Jobst as in Jobst up on YouTube. So if you want to go watch their original videos, I recommend doing that. This is more just going to be a summary and give my opinion about what's going on and how fucking bad this has actually become. Like, at first, it wasn't like it was definitely bad. So to give you a little bit of a summary and like I'll give my quick opinion on what's happened, is that previously Moody and Carl themselves did a little bit of investigating on the Completionist, who has been on YouTube for a long time now, and he started a foundation with him and his family because his mother suffered from Alzheimer's or dementia, and he wanted to raise money and set up a foundation to help, fund research for Alzheimer's, which is a really big thing. Like, Alzheimer's is fucking terrible, and seeing families go through that, and someone completely losing their memory is fucking horrible to see. I know someone in my comment section on my last video said that they've dealt with someone in their family, and it's really horrible to see. So he wanted to set it up. That's really good and everything. But when Moody and Carl did their research, they noticed that, in the time that the Completionist has set up his foundation, also known as Open Foundation, not 1 cent. And these guys have generated a total of $600,000. I think it's going back to like 2015 when they first opened this foundation. They have accumulated a total of over $600,000. I think it's around about $655,000, and not a single cent of that has been donated. From our understanding, at least everyone's understanding at the moment, from Moody and Carl, what they can gather, at least from this point in time, all that money has just been sitting in a bank account since 2015. And not only that, the Completionist himself didn't actually know that all the money that they were bringing into this foundation wasn't actually being given to Alzheimer's research until 2021. So for many, many years, while he was doing all these charity streams, and he was doing them through what he called like IndieLand streams. IndieLand was kind of like the fundraising central. So like IndieLand was more like the face of where they would do these live streams, and all the revenue that was made from these live streams would go back into the Open Foundation, whether it was from Twitch bits or ad revenue, sponsorships or donations. All of it would be put into the Open Foundation, and then all that money would supposedly, what Completionist was saying at the time, would then be donated to Alzheimer's research. And the reason why this is also a big deal is not only is the money sitting there, but on multiple occasions, even occasions after the Completionist was made aware that like none of this money was donated, he kept saying on streams and during IndieLand streams that all the money that people were donating were going to Alzheimer's research, which is actually like, it's charity fraud. Because when you are telling your audience, when you are telling someone that you are donating to them and that they are giving that money to research and it's not being donated, that it's just sitting into an account, that is a certain level of charity fraud. I talked about it in my last video, and I even pull up example, and even Moody's pulled up examples of like legal documents, especially in America. I live here in Australia, so laws would probably would be the exact same here in Australia that they are overseas in America. I'm guessing when it comes to like charity fraud, the whole entire world is pretty like black and white when it comes to something like that. So that is a certain level of charity fraud. And now we have even further development in this story, and it's not like a good development, because in my previous video, mostly I talked about, this is really bad, but the Completionist, he's definitely, I think either way, he's not going to come out on good. But what he could do right now, and the best thing that he can do, is keep silent about it, because sometimes keeping silent about things actually is the best thing to do, and he has, which, you know what, is good to a certain extent, but also just to donate the money, give the money away, which he hasn't done yet, at least from what we know. But not only that, now it has gotten worse. Not only is the Open Foundation gathering donations just from Indieland, but they have also had different avenues of revenue that have not been accounted for in their documentations. And if you want to go look at their documentations, because I'm just going to, like I said, I'm here just to give a summary and more of my opinion of how bad things have really gotten, especially at this point in time. So I'm just going to give like a couple of, show just a couple things on a couple documents. But if you want to, you could go and look at all of their documents. Like whenever a charity is open, like whenever someone's running a charity, at the end of like their financial year, and a financial year for charities, at least from what I've garnered from this, is different to like our normal financial year, because normal financial year goes from July to June, where it sees from these when they file their taxes, or at least it's made public. It's made public not until November. So we only, at the moment, we don't have their tax filings for this year. We only have their tax filings up until like last year. And when I made my video a couple weeks back, we actually didn't have 2022's revenue. We only had up to 2021, because the 2022 ones actually weren't made public, but now we even have 2022's. But what Moody and Carl have come to is that they have noticed that these other revenue, other aspects of revenue, these different like places that they are getting revenue from, not just from the Indieland streams, have not been accounted for in the total profits of the Open Hands Foundation tax filings, which is illegal. That's illegal. Every single cent that you earn in a charity, it doesn't matter where it's coming from, whether it's coming from a live stream of people's donations, the ad revenue that you were giving to, like saying that you were giving the ad revenue of your Twitch streams, of your YouTube streams, and the bits, buying merch, whether it's, you know, someone giving you checks to, not just to directly into Indieland, but say directly into Open Foundation itself, which is what we're going to talk about, or you're running other charity events outside Indieland. Every single cent has to be accounted for. And this is like there's two main aspects that we are getting to that are showing that they are actually not accounting for every single aspect of their revenue. The first one I'm going to talk about is one that's going to be a little bit more quicker, is that Moody mentioned it, and I didn't actually know this in, the last time around, because I don't think like him or Carl actually mentioned this. Well, I didn't really watch Carl's. I've only watched Moody's videos or Some Ordinary Gamers video about this. The actress Jamie Lee Curtis, and if you don't know who Jamie Lee Curtis is, she's mostly famous from being the main character, Laurie Strode, from the Halloween movies, from the original Halloween movies, and when they've not remade them, but done like the sequels as of recently. She was the main girl. So back in 1978, you know, the one that survives at the end of the movie, the main girl that's screaming, running away from Michael Myers himself, that is Jamie Lee Curtis. So she herself actually has her own foundation, like her own charity, that it's called Stigs. And each year that Indieland has run, she has actually donated through her own charity to the Open Foundation. And if you go onto her own tax filings, onto Stigs, or whatever the hell it's called. So as you can see, I'm just giving the example for 2022's, because every single year she's donated a different amount, and every single year it's pretty much gone up. So in 2022, she donated a total of $25,000. So she's donated $25,000. Now, this money actually, when it goes into like the Open Foundation, this isn't accumulated from Indieland, because Indieland itself is just doing it through charities. So if we have a look at Indieland 2022 right here, this is how much that they raised from last year's fundraisers. And this is, just remember, this is only donations. So this doesn't account for Twitch revenue and for YouTube ad revenue, or even for Twitch bits, because Twitch bits are completely separate. This is just donations that are donated directly into Indieland during their streams. Like I said, it doesn't account for YouTube ad revenue, because this is, you can go look this up. This is all on Tiltify as well. So that right there, they've right now, they have 90,000 and what was it? Like, just say 90,000, 90,500 currently they got donated through Indieland 2022. Then they also get $25,000 donated into the Open Hand Foundation, not through IndieLand. Remember, this check was written directly to the Open Hand Foundation, not through IndieLand. So IndieLand does not accumulate this. So right now we'd be sitting at about 115 grand. And then if we go look at the total revenue that the Open Hand Foundation earned that year, currently, if we just add those two together, that is currently 115,000. And the Open Hand Foundation in 2022 accumulated for $117,000 in total. Just remember, this isn't just IndieLand. This is every single little bit. So right now, we're currently missing 2 grand. And just remember, this isn't an accounting. Right now, we don't have an accounting for ad revenue or Twitch bits at all. Because, you know, the Completionist himself has said that every single little bit of earnings, whether it's ad revenue or donations or bits, it doesn't matter what it is, every single little bit of earning that is made through those IndieLand streams goes into the Open Hand Foundation. And then not only Jamie Lee Curtis's big donation that we get, there could also be other people's checks that we don't know about that are getting donated to the Open Hand Foundation during this time. Moody and Carl have also discovered that there has been a golf tournament that has been running every single year since 2015 that the Open Hand Foundation themselves have been running, and every single little cent that is earned from that golf tournament is going into the Open Hand Foundation. And the way that the money is made through this tournament, through this golf cup, is through sponsorships. Well, that's how anyone makes money. That's how people on YouTube earn money. Well, not me, but, you know, big YouTubers and everyone makes money through ad revenue, which is essentially sponsorships, you know, because these companies are paying YouTube to put their ads onto YouTube. So it's essentially a sponsorship. You know, YouTube, you know, Pepsi sponsors, you know, YouTube, and then YouTube will put their ads up on before a video or whatever company it may be. Now, when I was looking for the pricings, because there's different tiers of what these companies want to pay for in terms of, like, you know, how much they want to put in, and the more you put in, the more, you know, your company is blasted everywhere. Like the top tier is legacy recognition. I couldn't find any of the prices myself, so I had to just like screenshot it from Moody's video, which I didn't want to do. Like, I tried looking through where to get these pricings from, but I couldn't find it at all. So I had to just like take a screenshot from his. And as you can see, if you want to pay like legacy, it's 10 grand, which is a lot of fucking money. And you might think, oh, Donnie, what? Maybe there isn't many sponsorships. I looked through, and you can go onto like PBD West Convenience Cup. You can go onto their website and you can see all the photos throughout like the different years, and you can actually see the different sponsorships and the ones that have paid the certain amount of money. But as you can see, there are some that paid diamond sponsorships. Diamond sponsorships are worth, where is it? Let me just pull my PDF file up, bro. $8,000. There is currently 2 companies right now in just this event that is paying $8,000. Then the Platinum Premier sponsorship. There is 3 companies, Coca-Cola, Monster, Pepsi, that are paying $7,500. And then there's also multiple other companies that are paying even smaller amounts. But they're still paying a lot of money. And then if you see in other events as well, in the previous ones, because I was like doing a lot and I was looking through it, there's actually some companies in previous events that have paid that legacy recognition of $10,000. Coca-Cola themselves has been one of those. So if you add that into the revenue, if we're just looking through this, I just had to do a little double checking because I wasn't sure whether those photos that I saved, because I saved them like almost like 30 minutes ago when I was like getting information ready, but those ones are from the 2022 convenience cup, because this year's one, the photos haven't been posted yet. But obviously, if you add all those sponsorships, that doesn't add up to 117 grand. So right now, just for this year, and I know Moody did more of the maths, but I'm just doing like, you know, a little bit of a summary. I know this video's already gone for so long, but there is just so much information and so much shit to actually talk about in this whole entire thing. There is a lot of money that is not being currently accounted for, and that is illegal. That is actually illegal. In the face of when it comes to America, in the face of the IRS, when it comes to you filing your taxes, even here in Australia, when it comes to you filing your taxes, it doesn't matter whether it's your personal earn or if you run a company, like an actual company, or you run a charity. Every single cent that company earns, every single cent that you earn, every single cent that your charity earns has to be accounted for. And if you look at their tax filings and then you look at the evidence that is being shown with them making money through Indieland and then also them getting, you know, checks from someone like Jamie Lee Curtis and then also the events that they are running through this golf cup, it is not being added up correctly. You can obviously say that there is a lot of money, and Moody actually did this for several years. So right now, we are probably looking at almost $100,000 that is currently not being accounted for in their tax filings. That's highly illegal. That is literally in the face of the IRS, which is, you know, that's like who in America, that's, you know, who you report all your taxes to. That is completely illegal, and currently these guys should be investigated. When I first did this video, you know, a couple weeks ago, I said that, you know what, this is really bad. It is bad, you know, to start off with. It was already bad, but I kind of give him, like, you know, the benefit of the doubt just a little bit, just a tiny bit, saying that, you know what, if he donates all of the money, then you know what, it's fine. It's a shit thing that he did, holding on to this money for a certain amount of time, especially because he's known it for like 2 years. About 2 years. We don't know if it was like the start of 2021 or the end of 2021. So it could be, you know, 2.5 years coming up to 3 years now, because, you know, we are at the end of 2023. There is so much money that is not being, you know, donated. And now, on top of that, we are seeing that there is so much more money that is not being even accounted for in these tax filings. Right now, they have a total of $655,000, around that, sitting in a bank account, supposedly in a bank account. We don't fucking know, because honestly, this is looking even more sus now. There is currently around $100,000 that is missing from these donations, clearly from multiple years. Just remember, this golf tournament, the PBD West Convenience Cup that they have been running, they've been running this since like almost the same amount of time that the Open Hand Foundation itself was launched. They've been running this cup for years and years and years. Every single year, it seems that this Convenience Cup, every cent that they have been getting donated from, because whenever someone wants to sponsor, they send a check to the Open Hand Foundation, and it is not being accounted for. You know what? It wouldn't fucking surprise me if whenever they've gotten checks from these companies to get sponsored, that they are just shoving these checks in a drawer and have not fucking cashed them out. Is that what it is? Because it honestly feels like that's what it's come down to. It feels like every single time that they are getting checks from these companies, it is not being accounted for. And then Moody also mentioned as well that, oh, maybe they're in the red for this Convenience Cup. Well, then why run it? If you're not making a profit out of it, why run it? Also, that Convenience Cup is not being accounted for either. In their tax filings, there is like almost zero like evidence of the Convenience Cup itself being run. In their tax filings, it just seems that this Convenience Cup is like its own thing, but it's being run by the Open Hand Foundation. You can clearly see whenever you go onto the PBD Convenience Cup, whenever you look at them, it's got the Open Hand Foundation. So it's been every single cent that is being donated to that cup is being donated to the Open Hand Foundation. This is just, this has turned, you know, the Completionist Open Hand Foundation from, you know, slight, you know, fraud, where it's just like, you know, it's more fraud where they've kind of like fucked up themselves. It's like, but it's really not that bad, to just a straight scam. This is seeming like a straight scam. You know, the first time around when this was happening, I was kind of a bit iffy to call it a scam, because it seems that, you know, the money itself that was being donated wasn't really being spent anywhere else. It was just more or less sitting in an account. So yes, it is fraud, but it's not necessarily a scam because the money isn't being spent otherwhere. But now that they are not accounting for this money, it is just a straight scam. And it is fucking horrible to see this. The Completionist now, like, I kind of was giving him, like I said, I was kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he could come back from this. Probably fucking not, because it is charity and it is a serious thing. But there is now no fucking way. I cannot see the Completionist coming back from this. Especially if all of this is true, like, and they have currently lawyered up and they are keeping silent about it, which is the right thing to do. You know, the right thing to do in a situation like this is to get lawyers and to keep silent about it. You don't want to say anything whatsoever, because everything in that you say will be accounted for in the court of law. You know, as cops do say, it is fucking true. So what they're doing is lawyering up, keeping silent, which is the best thing to do, but it also is not looking good. Completionist will not come back from this. I can see him getting charged with fraud, a lot worse than it already was. There is a lot of money that's not being accounted for. This is fucking terrible. This is absolutely fucking terrible. And I hope that justice is brought. The FBI, the IRS, or whoever the fuck it is, needs to look into this. And when they do, like, we currently are doing, like, you know, just like Moody and Carl just kind of doing like a little bit of their own investigation, but the IRS will go into fucking details. They will take fucking years. If they take, like, it doesn't matter how long they will take. If it takes them 2 years to look at every single cent where you've been through, they are legally obligated and legally able to look at every single little thing that you've gotten, every single cent. They want to make sure that every cent that has been supposedly donated to your charity is being accounted for and properly distributed, as you've said. And it is not seeming that way. And I could definitely see them getting charged with fraud, and it is not looking good. This is just going to be a downhill scenario for the Completionist. I do not see any more development going on with this story. I know Moody even said it. He doesn't see any more development. I agree with him. I think the only next development we're going to get is when something legal comes out about this. And when it comes to something like fraud, especially on this, you know, scale, and it seems like it's been going on for years and there's so much money that seems like it's not being accounted for, we might not get an update for a while, which I feel like is true. Like, something like this can go on for a long fucking time. Like, a long time. Even if they get a decent team on it, looking at all of their books, all their donations, and they're going to have to go through all the streams as well, probably, you know, to look at every single little bit that's been donated and things that have been said as well, you know, in terms that would be accounted for fraud. So I can see it's going on for a long time, but man, this is not looking good. Let me know what you guys think about this situation down below. I wanted to make this a short video, but it's really hard because there's so much shit to go through. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. That's it from me. Peace out.